talking about social media for entrepreneurs, and specifically for entrepreneurs. So this is not a Facebook course, this is not how to load Facebook, but we're going to touch briefly on some of the aspects, but really want to dive into the Facebook page and events and adverts, because these are critical with that. So I've always said Facebook is definitely the place to be. It's the most cost-effective way to market your business. In fact, just about half an hour ago, I put up a new advert on Facebook, and already I'm seeing responses, literally 10, 15 minutes into the program, and I'm seeing the likes already happening with that campaign, and we're able to see there. So we'll speak a little bit about that as we go. So that's the whole drawing. We've got a number of platforms. That's the social media strategy diagram that we draw with clients, and your information flows from the left to the right, and the client's feedback flow from the right back there. So Facebook is definitely one of the outposts there. The rule of Facebook is you can't sell on Facebook. You can't engage with clients one-on-one about selling unless you buy space from them. But the idea, it's a good place to chum the waters. It's a good place to create those conversation clouds and to get people to come back to your website. So you've always got to have those inbound links back to your website from Facebook posts. That's the way it works well. So the rules on Facebook have changed a lot, and every time I've done training on workshops around Facebook, it's crazy because they're changing the rules all the time. So I'm not going to show you my Facebook page. I'm not going to show you the wall. I'm just going to show you some of the stuff that we can do there, because what I show you today might be different tomorrow, and it's quite hard to find where these little things keep moving to and the rules that they create. But a Facebook, what is Facebook? It was actually interesting there, and this is what they say that they are. And it says Facebook is an online social media and social networking service platform. And the key thing there is it's a social media and networking, and that's the part there. It's networking service. I really want to zoom into that, because networking service means that it's not just a sharing, it's not just an Instagram, which they went and bought. It's about creating a whole kind of networking, which means that there's things that are happening there. It's a two-way platform, and that's key to understand. A lot of people that I speak to use Facebook. They're users of Facebook, which means they've loaded their personal profile and then they read other people's comments. They get friends and they go on their wall and they just scroll through on their phone. And they read, and it's a good way to induce FOMO and to cure your FOMO and get around that stuff. What we want to do is we want to use that service that they've created. And the nice thing about Facebook is they've listened to what the clients have said. I've put in a number of complaints. I've put in a number of ideas, and being implemented. And I'm not saying I'm the only one, because I'm thinking of it, there must be millions of other people. But I have seen some of the stuff that I've wanted in Facebook happen, both good and bad. They've taken away a whole lot of the good. They put in a lot of privacy sessions, options that you can then remove yourself from certain profiles, and it's a lot safer to be on there, and it's a lot easier to do that. But it's still really rife with thugs and scam artists, so you've got to be really careful around that. And they've got a limit to 5,000 friends as well, so you've got to look at that. If you've got more than 5,000 friends, well, cool to you, and things. So let's look at that. On Facebook, you've got personal profiles, pages, groups, events, and adverts, and we're going to unpack some of those a little bit with that. So I'm going to go quite fast. This webinar will be recorded, and the webinar will be available later. We'll repost this entire video onto Facebook as well as our blog later, and we can get that going. So what is a personal profile? I've just unpacked some of the things there. The key thing here is, if you're an entrepreneur and if you're wanting to use Facebook as a business platform and to give you that web credit, and we spoke about this with LinkedIn, then make sure your photo is a proper photo. all right? Because people do business with other people. I don't do business with a picture of your dogs or a, sonar scan of your unborn child or your kids or a tree or your breakfast or your view or anything like it. Keep your personal profile photo of you, a clear head and shoulder shot of you so I can see who you are, I can see your eyes, I want to see who you are. And so don't obscure it with anything, don't hide behind a tree, don't put a hat on, and don't do that. And a lot of people change their profile pictures on a regular basis, but just make sure that it is there. If you're an entrepreneur and you're wanting to create that professional online image, I know it's Facebook and I know Facebook's very personal and it's there for having fun there, but as an entrepreneur, I think it's really important to have a good photo and have it clear and done there. Now, I've played around with my photo a lot. I play around with the Batman theme for my image and I have a whole lot of fun with that, but it's still a clear photo, but I've got Batman behind me and I change it and have around there, but it's still a clear picture. You can see who I am and you can see with that. You're also allowed to put up a banner, and the banner is that top part above your profile picture, and it's very important. You can use photos to put up there, you can use various themes and stuff, and if you want to get creative, I think that's the place to actually do it. You could make up your own one with various photos and you make a collage or do fancy graphics and stuff. So if you've got any type of graphic software, or you just take a photo, scan in a photo, find a photo, and you can copy it in there and adjust it accordingly. So that's the fun part. Both those should represent who you are as individuals. And then the about you, and this is really interesting because if you go back to your LinkedIn profile and you then read the stuff there and you go to your Facebook profile and read there, how in tune is it? Is it the same thing? Is it the same person? And it's very important, much the same as consistency for brand, for companies across the different platforms. It's very important to keep your personal branding right. So maybe today's a good day to go read what you wrote a little bit about you, and there's a little free format text box that you've got there, and you can write about there. Copy it, what you've updated on LinkedIn, put it in there. And you can make it sound less formal if you want to, and you can do that. And the same thing with your work experience, your education experience. It doesn't have to be all in the CV format that you have on LinkedIn, but add it in there, because if I'm going to come cyber stalk you, I want to know that you're a real person. I want to know that you've got the credibility and to be able to do that. You don't have to go back as far as primary school and all that, pretty much high school, what you've done, courses, people that you've worked with, and we spoke at length about that with the LinkedIn. If you haven't done the LinkedIn course, I'm going to refer go back. It is a recorded video. Go watch it. It's half an hour. Give you a whole lot of really good information. So Facebook also likes to know that the places that you've done, where you've checked in and been to, and your various contacts. And then there's a place for family and friends. And again, there, just be careful with who you associate with. If you've got people that you don't want to be associated or you can't be associated with, everybody's got their stories and stuff. We've had some clients we've had to really separate themselves out for a number of reasons. You can go do that, but it's a good place to cyber stalk you. If I know your name, I can go find out. I can find out who you're married to by going there. Then I can find out who your kids are. I can go find out where your kids go to school, and I can find out quite a lot and build quite a hefty profile out of that. Now, if you've got issues with that, then don't connect anybody with your friends and family in that section. You can still have your friends, but you can play around with that. And then you've got this thing which Facebook is called life events. And that says there when you're born, Facebook will automatically put that in when you load your profile. It'll tell you when you joined, and then you've got other life events about getting married, having kids, changing jobs, doing the number thing, moving, and you can actually add a post now called life events, and you can say life event, turned 50 and decided life was awesome. And you can put all those things up there, and it separates them into that. So if I'm doing a profile of you on Facebook, that's what I'm going to see. And then I'm also going to see all your photos and videos. And it's very important. Last week we spoke about this lovely tool called IFTTT. It stands for if this, then that, ifttt.com. Go create a profile there. And one of the tools that you can do in that is to get you notified when anybody tags you on Facebook. It's the nicer one because it actually works independently of anything else, and it scours all the Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and it'll let you know when you're tagged. This is very important because underneath your photos, it will list pictures that you've been tagged in and ones that you've put on there. So there's those things there. So I can take a picture of, a tree and tag you on that, and it doesn't mean that you want to be associated with that tree or any other place. There's a whole bunch of people that are tag happy on Facebook. A little annoying. I go and untag myself from anything that's not appropriate or not associated with me as a person or me as a brand. And it's very interesting. Same thing with videos. Make sure that you're able to know where you are and what you're being tagged under with that. Okay. Then there's check-ins, and the check-ins is something that I like to do. When you arrive at a place, you go to you open up on Facebook and you say, check-in, I'm checking in at the airport, I'm checking in at the hotel, checking in at this restaurant and stuff, and it's a nice way to share that. It's mostly used to create FOMOs, and if you remember, there used to be an app that you had to check in and you could become mayor of a virtual town or virtual mayor of a town and all that sort of stuff. And it was Foursquare, I think it was, or something like that, and they've kind of taken that and put it in there. And it's a great way to enable, if you're doing a road trip. I did a road trip last month, and we checked in 3 or 4 times a day, and people were able to kind of track where we were, and it's a fun thing to do. It's also really good if you own a business to make sure that people, when they visit you, they check in with you, because it builds that credibility. So go in there, define your organization as a place to check in, and we'll look at that just now. And then people can check in when they arrive, and we'll show up on your location and get that. And your personal profile also covers your likes with that. So that's a little bit about that. Okay, so this is the part we're supposed to be skipping fast through there. Your Facebook wall, it's pretty much the wall that you see when you sign on there. You just get your friends posts, your wall adverts, your sidebar adverts, and your events. And you can see that Facebook's very clever nowadays to merge those all into one. And it's very hard to work out what's an advert and what's a post and what's a friend's post and things. And with that, you can then like, comment, and share on that. What is a mystery and remains a mystery and keeps changing is what posts you see on your wall. You don't have any control over what posts you see. And it's very interesting. If you don't believe me, open up Facebook on your phone, and then open Facebook up on your laptop or a tablet, and there's many different places, and look at the wall content. It's completely different. And have you ever said, oh, I just saw this post 5 minutes ago, and you want to show somebody else, and you go try find it again? Once you've seen a post, it might not ever appear on your wall again. So it's not a fixed formula. It used to be just in time stamp, and you can scroll down there. But if you look at the order that the things on your wall, it's random, and nobody quite knows what it is there. And Facebook are manipulating through some really clever algorithms what you get to see. So ultimately, they've admitted that they will show you things that they feel you need to show. And it's a little scary. I was reading a really interesting white paper the other day that Facebook were able to take 2 sample groups of people, and one group of people, they showed down stuff, depressing stuff, war stuff, aggressive stuff only, and the other group, they showed happy stuff without their consent. They were just doing this as a random social thing there, and then they monitored what the 2 groups were actually posting, and they were able to say that Facebook has a big influence over the emotional state of groups of people. Now, for me, and anybody who's done psychology or involved in coaching and counseling and stuff like that, that just raises red flags all over the place. So be a little careful about that. The nice thing about it, the flip side of it, is you can go on the other side and you can manipulate what other people get to see. So you can be on the bad side there, but it's good because you can pay Facebook to put your marketing up on that. And we'll talk about that in a moment. Okay, so let's carry on. Your pages. Now, Facebook has personal profiles, and then they got pages, and you can have a number of categories of these. And I just took this off the list yesterday. You can have a local business or place. You can have a company, organization, institute, brand or product, artist, brand, or public figure, entertainment, or a cause or community. So they're different categories of a page. Each one has different criteria associated with it, and each rules of engagement are slightly different. And I was just sort of bouncing around these things, looking at what I had with Emmanuel and what was there. And again, it's all changed there. So I'm not going to try to explain that to you. You can go there, you can read their online help and get there. But if you choose one, go look at what they're asking for. If it doesn't smack about who you are, then it doesn't matter. So I've got a personal profile. I've got a public figure profile, both of me, and I operate those independently. Then I've got a number of company pages, and we're able to work that. So some of our pages are local businesses, some are organizations, institutes, and some are brands. And we run those separately, and I've got about 15 different pages under my profile that we manage on behalf of us or our clients. So my Facebook profile is quite busy with that. But each one of those has got a number of questions and a number of rules of engagement that they have there. But primarily, you're going to have to do these things. You're going to have a photo and a banner as well. So if you're a brand, again, if you're a company, don't put your face there, put your company logo. Make sure you've got a 300 by 300 square, or 400 by 400 works a little better because it's a bit clearer, of your logo. Get a square version of your logo, create one, get one made for you and set it up there. Your banner, again there, that's the full part there. Use your banner effectively. Put it up there, make sure, because again, they change the layout of these things. So have a look at the banner on a tablet, on your Windows, on an Apple, on your mobile phone, and see, because it's slightly different the way. Make sure that your photos and the layout is quite nice. If you struggle with that, get somebody to design a banner for your brand. It's very important. Don't just use a random photo here. Here's a marketing opportunity because you can promote your page using that banner, and we'll talk about that in the next slide. All right, then we've got the about thing, about your page, about your organization, your company, and here's a time where you can market your stuff there. So you've got the address, your open times, your contact information, your videos and your photos, again, all related to that. You get your reviews that other people are reviewing your brand or your company and stuff, your comments, and then your posts that you get on your wall. You've also got that little about you, and again, go back to your LinkedIn profile, go back to your website, and make sure that they're all concurrent and they're all saying the same thing. So I'm not reading one and go to the other and say, this doesn't even sound like the same company. And you should be updating these on a regular basis. Make it a kind of a 2 or 3 month cycle to say, yeah, I'm going to go around and I'm going to check these all out and make sure that everything is working with that. Now, a new thing that they've added is tabs. Now, the tabs are those little options underneath the banner on the right-hand side there. And Facebook, this is a recent thing and something I'm quite excited about. But when you set up a page, you can go set up different tabs. So you can have a tab that says buy now, phone me, go to my website, book now, register. So there's a number of fixed options. They haven't made it freeform, but you can redirect people to your website. You can redirect people to certain landing pages on your site, or you can then, if you're clever, you can actually put some coding within your Facebook page and direct them to a form that they can fill in and to be able to optimize that leverage there. So you can have all your brand, this is your conversation page and stuff. At the top, it says there, buy now or visit us, and they click, and it's a fast track straight through to anywhere else on the web that you want people to go to. So that works really well. And then in your the information, you can see how many people clicked on the tab, which one's working, what is the redirect, and the click-through rates with that. So I think that's worth looking at. And stuff there. So this we normally run through in about an hour and a half with people showing examples and think I'm conscious of the time, knowing that it's a lunchtime event and we're going to get going. So we come back to this page and have a look at what it is there and looking at that. So some other thing that we look at, second last thing we're going to look at is events. And what is an event? Well, it's a Facebook event. It's an event. It could be a launch. It could be a workshop. It could be a topic, a webinar, or something that you can run. And you go there and you load an event. And you can put in there your theme or your photo. And it's quite nice because there's templates that they've got there. You don't have to do much work or graphic work. You just choose a theme and it'll create this wonderful event for you. And you put in your name, location, date, time, description, whether it's a private or open to anybody else. If it's private, you can just invite a couple of people or link it to a group. Which is quite nice. And once you've got that event, it'll appear on the wall of the profile that you've created. So if it's created under your profile, it'll appear on your profile. You can then put it up under a page or a group, and you can have that done there. That's quite nice. And then you're able to share that event and boost it and repost it onto other places as well, which is quite nice. So if you like me, you've got a number of pages. I can put that same event across different pages and to manage that, which is nice. So it's a good way to advertise. So if you run events, if you do talks, anything like that, it's a great way to get exposure. Probably nicer than Meetup, I suppose, and that stuff. But there's little restrictions, but you can pay to get that event loaded. And talking about paying, let's just have a look at where Facebook makes their money. Facebook makes their money because everything I've told you up to now is free. They charge huge money for adverts, but it's really economic. It's the cheapest online profile adverts that you have, and it's worth exploring. So the one that I've got running at the moment, I put in 50, 60 Rand, and I'll get probably 1,000 odd responses for that. You just can't buy that anywhere else. You can't even print flyers for that and get that sort of response. So it's really interesting. The nice thing is you're able to target your adverts specifically. So you've got a number of criteria that you can target your adverts for. So your adverts can be, you can promote a page or a website. If you promote a page, it uses the banner. If you promote a website, it uses the link to that website. You can boost a post or an event, and we've spoken about that. Any post that you've got on your wall, if you look at the bottom, it says, do you want to boost this? And you click yes, and you're creating an advert. Or you can create an advert or a campaign from scratch. So those are your options for that. And if you've got a credit card, you load it once and it'll just take the money off automatically. They make it very convenient for you. If you've got a South African profile, it'll charge you rands. If you've got an international profile like me, unfortunately you've got to pay in dollars, but you could just do that conversion right with that. As soon as the adverts run and finish, then they 2-3 days later send you an invoice, the money comes off, and it's really convenient and cheap and effective. So let's just look at what an advert consists of and unpack that. So if you're running a campaign, now I've got a business account on Facebook. So it's slightly different to a normal account. If you just got a normal profile, you haven't got the first option, the objective. But going into our advert, you can set a clear objective if it's an awareness or it's a conversion consideration. There's a number of options under there, and what that enables you to do is set targets on your various focuses. So within that sales cycle, where you're focusing on how that's unpacking and that, and it's nice to run a campaign because you got a form of measurement that you can extract later in the insights. So then you set your audience. Now your audience is well located, and this is a nice thing about it because you can define your audience right down to like literally a handful of people. So you're able to look at location, and you can put in countries, you can put in continents, countries, provinces, towns, or regions, and you can even say within 5 kilometers of where I am now. If you're just running a local flea market, you say give me 5 kilometers from where I'm at. I just want to target my local community, and you can make that wide as small as you can. You can have multiple locations, so you can have people in Pretoria and Durban and Kimberley. If you want to, you can define the age gap, the gender, and the language that they speak at. And then you can look at the kind of target, what are the key words that you're looking at. So if you're selling sailing equipment, you can put there, it's got to be yachting, sailing, and you can put there. So if anybody speaks about that, then those adverts come up. And you might have noticed when you repost something or you write something on Facebook, then all of a sudden you've seen adverts come up on the wall about what you're writing about. If you don't believe me, just go right there. I think I'm having a baby, and within 10 minutes you've got all the baby adverts for prams and maternity wear and all that sort of stuff popping up on your wall, and that's exactly how that works. So you're able to target people well. And then what they're connected with is a connection thing. So connected to a page, connected to a group, connected to a company or theme. So the targeting of your audience is great. You can zoom down and define those very, very well. Then you put in your placement, whether you want a video wall, Instagram, an audience network. And it's interesting, remember that Facebook owned Instagram, they bought it. And were you able to cross-post from your Facebook account onto Instagram? So they've made that link together. So you're able to cross-link across the platforms. A little scarier with that, but anyway there. And then you add in your budget, and that's a nice thing about Facebook. We've done quite a lot of adverts on a number of other platforms, and they tend to run away with you because you just put in this amount and you get an invoice 3 or 4 days later, and you didn't know that it took off so well, and you've spent thousands and thousands of rands. And we've been caught that in the past, and a few other people that I've seen have also run into like tens of thousands of rand because they had this open plan thing. Have a start date, have an end date, set a budget, a daily budget, a campaign budget, and when it runs out, it stops. I do $5 at a time, and we can push it up to $20 for a few days with that. But the nice thing about it is it sticks to that budget. It won't allow you to do that, go over that. So that's a nice thing. It's very controlled and very nice there. So you can create an advert, existing post. You can take any post off your wall and put it on as an advert, or you can create a new advert. And there's a number of ways you can do it, and you might have seen them. You can have a number of images that goes sort of sliding left and right, or you can have a single image or a video, or this little slideshow that just rotates within itself, and you can then add images and text on that. And it's really good creating an advert. Go and create one. You don't even have to put it live. You can just go create one, load it, look at it, and put in, $100, $50, $20, see if it works, and play around, see how it works with you. Practice those, and you can get those effective. It depends on the time of day how effective it is. It depends on who you're targeting. So if you're targeting like moms who work, and you want to put up a morning advert, you're not going to get any stuff. But if you're targeting moms who stay at home, after 9 o'clock is a really good time because they drop kids off at school and they're back home on Facebook, and they're doing that. I will get flagged for that. But it's interesting, you're looking at the time of days. Lunchtime is always a good day. Run an advert from kind of 12 until 2 over lunchtime or in the evenings. Facebook peaks during those times, and you can get there. So don't waste your time putting it on people's walls during the day. There's only people like me who just playing around with Facebook at work during that time. If you're looking at youth, then understand when the youth are on, when they're available, and when you want to target. Kind of makes sense. It's really fun to play around with it because it's really interactive. You can change it as your campaign's going throughout the day as well with that. Now, I know time is getting away. I've just got a couple more slides here, so hang in there, stay with us. 2-3 more minutes promise, and then I'll let you go. The insights of a Facebook page are really, really interesting, because what it allows you to do, it allows you to get that information. It allows you to look at the performance of your wall. we extract a lot of that information and analyze it every week now, and we're able to look at where the adverts are performing with number of likes, the number of engagements, and you can sit there. So it links in how many followers, likes, reach. Reach is an interesting one there because where's that reach across the various platforms? And we got a ratio between reach and interaction with that, which enables to look at that. And then your views, your previews, and the actions on a page, like your likes, your shares, comments on post events, videos, the people, and the messages. So there's quite a lot of performance. If you go into your insights, go play around there. There's a couple of help you videos that'll help you get around all that stuff there. But get into that insights page and go look at the performance, because if you're doing things that are not performing, you need to change things, not just do things harder. Go find something that works, go look at that, find out when it worked and what were you doing right that made it work. Repeat that, see if that's working well, and if it does, just do more of that on an ongoing basis and keep doing that. So it's very, very important to make that happen, and to be able to do that. A lot of people don't like to do the paperwork at the end and the measuring and evaluations and all that sort of stuff, but it is key. Go look at all the information. You can drown there. Get some key information off there that's meaningful to you, even if it's just likes for a new page. Get that and look at what you're doing to make it work well. All right. And there we go. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're done. That's Facebook. Facebook in a nutshell. There's so much on Facebook now. The whole business management profile that gets you into the kind of side door into Facebook is opening up, and it's huge with that. If you want to get advanced information about Facebook, then do some online courses or come and chat. We can show you some more. I've tried to squeeze as much in here as I can in half an hour, just to get you interested. And if anything of this is new to you, go and play. You cannot break it. Go and play, go and find out what it does, and there's the online help will help you out there, or drop me an email. Next week we're talking YouTube, and that's one of my favorite platforms. We're going to share some stuff that you might never have even heard of on Facebook. So if you're into videos, no, if you're not into videos, you need to watch. If you're into videos, you need to watch, because videos, YouTube is definitely one of the key platforms. That's why we've chosen it for the series, that you as an entrepreneur, small business owner, even if you're just a one-person company at this stage, YouTube is critical to creating an online brand and online awareness. And we'll show you some of the secrets and tips that we've learned over the last sort of 8 or 9 years playing around with videos and getting that done. So if you want to chat to me, my name's Bruce Wade. There's my email address and our website. Go drop by our website. Go look at our blog. I can say we've improved our blog a whole lot. Go look at that cluster maps that we've got on the blog page, and go and see what it's all about there. Go and join, see how we interact our blog with Facebook. Go look at our Facebook pages. Love to see your comments and get all that stuff there. So good chatting to you. We've run 7 minutes over time. Trust that it's been informative. Let me know how it goes, and thank you very much for joining us. We will see you next week, same time, same place, for YouTube.